congratulations. I mean, you guys are busy with all these other things, and now here comes this wonderful competition. So congratulations on it.
Thank you
Appreciate it,
very
Will.
much.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I was able to watch some of it. And what would you say? I mean, I'm sure you, I don't know how much you can sort of tease, but what would you say are some of the most inspirational stories, or if one comes to mind that has really spoken to you that you can sort of share about? Whoever wants to start.
Yeah, I would suggest, Will, what makes Second Chance Stage unique is that you, as the viewer, you won't just be impressed, you will be impacted. I've heard this before, and I believe that this show, it really speaks to this, is I can impress you with my successes, but I can impact you with my scars. And this show, it's a bunch of talented individuals impacting the audience by bearing their scars, because so many people didn't have a belief in themselves, and so someone else had to nominate them for this show. We all are wearing scars in our life. We are not all proud of the scars we're wearing. We're not all courageous enough to share them, but Episode 2, there was a woman, Shelby Floyd, and her scar was that she was told she wasn't good enough to sing. And so her husband nominated her for the show to some degree unbeknownst to her. She sang a song called Never Enough. And as the audience stood up simultaneously, the hairs on my arms, they stood up at the same time. And Shelby singing the song Never Enough, you could hear her heart cry out never enough. Taye literally is moved to tears, not for the camera, but just because his heart can no longer contain them. And if you watch, and when you watch Second Chance Stage, it will impact you emotionally, I would suggest, in a way that no other show can or will.
Well said. It's a different kind of competition where, dare I say, a competition doesn't have anything to do with it. Once you see these human beings perform, and once you hear what they've been through, knowing that they have an opportunity to relive their dream, it doesn't become about who's better or who can sing higher or who is funnier. You become a part of their story, and you can't help but be affected. Yes, we have to choose a winner, and it is a competition show. Yes, we have two other amazing judges and a great host. But for me, I expected to just be able to judge people. And instead, I was moved. So I think people will enjoy it, and it's a family show. It's a show that you can watch with your family. So I think it's important, especially in these days and times.
Of course, yeah. It's yeah. I was feeling a lot of emotions without sounding corny. You know,
Yeah.
even that first episode, I was like, so yeah. I can't wait for everyone else to see it. And I was curious for you. I mean, is there anyone in your personal lives who you've sort of helped have a second chance at your dreams outside of the show, of course?
Oh, for me, I mean, every day I look at every day as a second chance. I have a sister that is I'm very proud of her with how she's moving through life with her mental health. So she's a constant reminder that we need to keep going and continue to support each other. So yeah.
I think life, Will, is all about individuals who are willing to give you a second chance and individuals who you're willing to give a second chance, whether it's relationally, occupationally, spiritually, emotionally. And this show, it is a perfect depiction of what we need to do more of in society. We may all have different reasons for our first chance not succeeding, and oftentimes it's of no fault of our own. So many of the contestants on this show, their parent got sick. And so they had to leave their hometown to go back to tend to their ailing mom, their dad who had cancer. And then now in their early 40s, they're revisiting their second chance. Rather than judging someone for having failed on the first chance, let's just lend a hand on the second chance and see what they make of it.
Of course. Yeah, well said. Yeah, it's very inspiring. So that's great. And Emmanuel, you know, you've had this wonderful career in media and television ever since, you know, retiring from the NFL. Does this new stage, I don't know, does it feel like a second chance at all? Or did you sort of know all along that you might have a future in front of the camera outside of sports?
You know, it's a great question, Will. It feels like a better chance. I wouldn't suggest a second chance, but it feels like a better chance. I played in the NFL. We suggest the NFL stands for not for long. And so, you know, knowing I wasn't going to play there forever, I left the NFL at 25, vested pension annuity. And so I suggest, that this feels like a better chance. I got to do a show with freaking Taye Diggs, with Martina McBride, with Heidi Gardner. I mean, you're talking about people that are legends in their field. And I get to interact in a humorous ways with these brilliant individuals. So I don't look at it as a second chance, but rather a better chance.
Nice.
Of course. Yeah, well said. And Tay, I wanted to mention, you did that wonderful movie with Christian Bale, Equilibrium. How does it feel for you knowing that, ever since it was released, it's gained this, wonderful following? How does that feel
Oh,
to you?
I had no idea. I had
Oh,
no
yeah.
idea. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
I just feel lucky to have been in the projects that I have been in, and it's a constant reminder for me to keep going and to take advantage of all the opportunities that are given. So it's nice to be reminded. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And Emmanuel, I have to ask, do you have any, the NFL, the current season, do you have any playoff or even Super Bowl predictions you'd like to share? Or just hot takes in general about sort of the latest this season?
It will be very hard to see the Philadelphia Eagles get beat. That's what it'll be very hard. I believe they will win every playoff game by double digits until they get to the Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl, anything can happen, but that would be my most confident take. It will be very hard to see the Eagles get beat up until the Super Bowl.
Of course. Yeah, I agree. That's great. And Tay, speaking of football, I was curious what it was like for you returning to your show All American for this latest season, and what it was like for you just working on that wonderful show in general.
It was such a. I felt lucky. I consider myself athletic. I'm not an athlete, so it was great to be surrounded by these physical specimens, learning from them. My son's an athlete, so that show was life-changing in that it affected, me and my son's relationship with each other. We were able to watch a program together that we both somewhat understood. And just to learn about athletes and what you guys go through, and how the respect that I gained. You know what I mean? Growing up, the stereotype is that athletes they can run fast, but not too much is going on upstairs. These athletes are some of them are brilliant, and you have to have such a high level of intelligence just to comprehend certain plays and audibles. There's so much to it that I didn't realize. So that's always great, learning a new vocabulary. And it was great I loved when I was at the airport, people would call me coach. That was really, I won't lie, that was really, really cool. Really cool. So I'm thankful for that opportunity.
Very cool. Yeah, that's great. I would like to be called coach one day.
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, that's great. And Emmanuel, I wanted to mention, my wife and I watched you host that one episode of The Bachelor, and I think a lot of people enjoyed seeing you in that role for the show. Would you ever consider returning to the show in that capacity or in some capacity in general? That was a pretty heavy episode.
I love hosting. So anything that I have the opportunity to host, I will take if it suits me. I believe that hosts are really just a conduit to other people's excellence. A great host is a magnifying glass. I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to make you the best version of you if I am doing my job right. So hosting Second Chance Stage, it was that opportunity. When I was able to host The Bachelor, I think it was the most watched episode that season, the season finale. That was a beautiful and brilliant opportunity. I'd never hosted it before. I'd rarely watched it before. Took a crash course in so many stories I could share with you all about that situation. But any opportunity to host, I really look forward to taking them.
That's great. Yeah, I love the energy you bring to Second Chance Stage. Yeah, it really, really brightens the show. I mean, it's already a great premise and great judges, of course, and then here comes Emmanuel, strutting the food.
Here comes Emmanuel, strutting on stage with that head of hair.
Yeah, that's right. And lastly, I just wanted to mention, Tay, my wife and I loved your movie Set It Up with Glenn Powell, and I was curious if you've stayed in touch with him. You know, that ever since that movie, he's been in all these other projects. I was curious if you've kept in contact.
Yeah. Just texted him the other day. It's so funny when you know.
That's interesting because I texted Taye yesterday, Will, and Taye didn't text me back. So I thought his phone didn't work. So it's just fascinating that Taye was texting. You know, Glenn Powell went to Texas. I went to Texas. You know, we're both Texas at Austin. So it's just fascinating that he would suggest he texted somebody, Will, when I actually texted Taye yesterday, and you know, I got returned to sender, so it's good to hear that your phone worked. Continue, sorry. That's on me, bro. Continue. That's my fault. I didn't mean to interrupt. Taye, you were texting? You were texting the other day?
Give me a second chance. Give me. I was reaching out to him. When we did that movie, he was starting out, and he had something. So I told myself, keep an eye on this kid, and as you can see, he's doing quite well.
Yeah, of course.
I hope he didn't text you back. Go ahead, Will. Next question, please.
No, that's great. That's all the time I have. But yeah, I mean, you guys are doing great things as well. So congratulations again on this show, and hope we can chat again in the future.
I hope Taye and I can as well, honestly.
Yeah,
Good to see you.
Maybe it was a service thing.
I'm going to look at my phone right now.